Ladies and gentlemen, immigration reform, of course, it passed the Senate. Let's hope the House sticks to its guns, although sometimes with John Boehner in the leadership, you're not exactly sure what those guns might be. Joining us now is Congressman Paul Broun from the 10th Congressional District in the great state of Georgia. He's also a candidate for the United States Senate. Congressman, how are you, sir?
Fine, Steve. I'm glad to be with you. It's always a pleasure and a blessing to visit with you.
Well, I appreciate that, and I know that you are on the campaign trail pushing your Senate campaign, so I appreciate the time. All right, let's talk about House Resolution H.R. 326 that you are certainly pushing, which certainly does satisfy someone like me. Talk about what that would do.
Well, this House Resolution 326 that I introduced actually a week ago basically says no amnesty for anybody. We've got to be a nation that is ruled by law, not by man, and we've got what's estimated is 11 million plus illegal aliens in this country that have broken the law. And if we give them amnesty, then it's going to be a tremendous economic burden upon American taxpayers. In fact, it's estimated it's going to cost $54 billion per year to give these illegal aliens amnesty. It's over $14,000 per family for illegal aliens that it's going to cost the taxpayers above what any taxes that they may pay. We cannot afford it. Plus, even more importantly, we must be a nation ruled by law. We see this president, he goes on Jay Leno
yeah.
and talks about he talks about all the issues with national security. He's making America a joke, and if we don't enforce the laws, we're going to be a joke as a nation, and it just has to stop.
Well, I want you to yeah, go ahead.
We have to uphold the law. I will not support any legislation that has any semblance to the Senate bill. I will vote no on the Senate bill. And if there's anything like it in any kind of conference report, I'll vote no on that. We must secure the border. We must enforce the law, the laws that are on the books. The only new law I'd like to see put in place right now is one to make English the official language of America. But we must secure the border first and foremost. Till then, nothing else matters.
I want you to listen to Chuck Schumer, who said today on CNN that he has no problem with a piecemeal approach in the House, and he's willing to sit down with the leaders of the House to try to make this happen. Listen to what he said.
We would much prefer a big comprehensive bill, but any way that the House can get there is okay by us. And I actually am optimistic that we will get this done. I've had a lot of discussions with various members of both parties in the House. Things are moving in the right direction. The initial reaction was the House isn't going to take up any bill. That would have been very bad, no bill. Now they're doing it in pieces. A couple of their pieces are very similar to our bill.
Okay, and when I hear this, it makes me worry, not only because it's Chuck Schumer, but I've heard from Paul Ryan, I've heard the ambiguity from John Boehner, and it scares me because I don't know what they're capable of pushing through.
Absolutely, and you're just perfectly correct when you should be very frightened of like this. When he says when we get this done, what he wants to do is give amnesty to 11+ million and maybe up to 20 million illegal aliens in this country. He wants to put them on federal welfare programs and federal largesse so that they vote for Democrats and keep Democrats in power for perpetuity. Anything that Chuck Schumer's for, any freedom-loving American should be against. So, or look with jaundiced eye upon anything that Chuck Schumer's for.
Well, what about his optimism? Does he have reason for optimism, given what I said about Ryan and the leadership and Boehner? And I mean, does he have reason to be optimistic?
I hope not. I don't know. I know that there are a lot of us that won't vote for any kind of comprehensive bill. Or what really concerns me, Steve, is that if our leadership takes any bill, even one, and conferences it with the Senate comprehensive immigration reform bill. It's not reform, it's an amnesty bill. Anything that passes the House if Speaker Boehner takes those and says, let's sit down in conference with the Senate, then America economically is doomed, because we cannot afford to put these people on government largesse, because it's going to cost, as I've already said, $54 billion per year to the American taxpayers to give these people amnesty. So John Boehner is saying, let's pass something. He and a lot of the Republican leadership want to pass a border security bill that they promised to secure the border. But the thing is, we were promised to secure the border in 1986 when President Reagan signed an amnesty bill that gave amnesty to almost 2.7 million illegal aliens in this country. And what has happened? No border security, no enforcement of the law, which we were promised also in 86. And now we've got over 11 million at least, and maybe much more than that, illegal aliens in this country. Until we secure the border, nothing else matters.
And, Congressman, we were promised a fence, which much more recently than Reagan. We're talking to Congressman Paul Broun, also U.S. Senate candidate Paul Broun from the great state of Georgia, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Two more things quickly, sir. One, you're as a doctor, as an MD, I was so frustrated. It was Scott Garrett, my congressman from New Jersey, who first told me several weeks ago, when I asked him, I said, when are you guys going to defund part of Obamacare? These votes are nice, but when are you going to actually take the money away? He said the leadership won't do it. And then, of course, subsequently, we've heard that the leadership won't do it. What is the possibility here going forward? How do we stop this from happening?
Steve, there are 3 U.S. senators, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Mike Lee, with about 8 of us in the House. They're going to do everything we can to defund Obamacare in this continuing resolution. It's absolutely critical. We need to shut down Obamacare before Obamacare shuts down America. It's already shutting down job creation in America. It's already shutting down our economy. It's already shutting down our budget it's already shutting down the budget from family budgets, and will shut down the federal budget. It's going to shut down our liberty, and it's absolutely critical that we shut down Obamacare.
What are the chances, sir? What do you think the chances are that maybe part of it, there's something that could cripple it, the IRS agents funding, something will be defunded? Any chance?
Well, yes, there is a big chance, and that's when we, the people, rise up and tell their members of Congress in the House and the Senate, if you fund Obamacare in this continuing resolution, we're going to get rid of you. If you don't shut down Obamacare, we're going to shut you down. We're going to find somebody else to replace you. That's the way to shut down Obamacare and defund it, and that's what I'm looking into whatever I can do, and I've been leading that charge of trying to educate and mobilize the most powerful political force in America, and that's embodied in the first 3 words of the U.S. Constitution. We, the people, to tell their congressmen, tell their senators, if you don't defund Obamacare in this continuing resolution, and it must be done in this continuing resolution because Obamacare goes into effect October 1st.
And then there's no turning back. Absolutely.
There's no turning back. And we've got to defund Obamacare, and that's what I'm fighting.
One more quickly. The president canceling his meeting at the G20 summit, his one-on-one meeting with Vladimir Putin, believed to be because of Snowden, although the White House gave a bunch of other issues. What's your take on that?
Well, we've got to work with other countries around the world, and I think he's wrong in this. I guess he's making a political statement, but this administration has been totally inept in foreign policy, and I think this is a reflection of the ineptness of his State Department, the Secretary of State, previous one as well as this one, about how poorly we are seen across the world, because we have not been the strong nation that America has been in the past and capable of being. You see, I have a strong belief in liberty. I have a strong belief in the American people. I have a strong belief in the things that have made this America great. Both parties are destroying it by spending too much money. We're spending too much. We're taxing too much. We're regulating too much. We're borrowing too much. Government is sticking its ugly nose into our business too much. And it must stop, and that's what I'm fighting for.
Congressman, thank you very much for your time, sir. Good luck on the campaign trail.
Thank you. People can check me out. PaulBroun.com is PaulBroun.com.
I was going to say BROUN, PaulBroun.com.
They can sign up for email newsletters, be a friend on Facebook, and they can send me money right there on PaulBroun.com.
Okay. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you very much. All right, folks. Steve Malzberg, thank you. Steve